Hello everybody, it's number 48 here and welcome back to another video. Today we are going over my experience at college hockey this season, the whole season of college hockey. I had Fridays off and Thursdays and Fridays off, but mostly games going to are on Friday. And I'd been in the pep band at Merrimack College, which is where this hoodie's from, for 4 years and wanted to get back into going to some games live. Been watching them from my computer, but going to the games live is just always a more fun experience. So we start all the way back at the beginning of the year on October 18th, unofficially ranked 26th UNH, University of New Hampshire, at Merrimack College. 1-0 shootout win for Merrimack with a Bookman goal in the shootout, which we kind of accidentally scored, if I'm honest. And it was a 0-0 game for 65 minutes before the shootout. Absolutely pointless game for everybody to go to, a waste of time. No scoring. Not incredible defense, just not good scoring, which is great. Moving on, another week to October 25th, a non-Merrimack game for the first time. Number 6 Maine at unofficial 24 Northeastern. 4-1 Maine win. It was nice to be at a rink where the students can actually be all together. Merrimack, for whatever reason, got rid of their student section recently in renovations to put some expensive seating in that doesn't fill in and doesn't generate the noise. So that's great. Little did I know back in October that this would be a preview of the Hockey East semifinals, which happened recently. Move forward into the next month of the year, November 1st. Merrimack at number 7 Maine. I went up to Orono. For whatever reason, I only went for the one day. I didn't want to take off the Saturday from work, so I was only up there for the Friday game. Maine won 5-0. Really, really bad play from Merrimack throughout the game. Great fan atmosphere. I would recommend, if you have the ability to go up to Orono to watch a hockey game, be ready for 5,000 yelling Maine fans. But it was a great experience nonetheless. And a cool one to go to. I look forward to going back to games at Orono at some point. Would just like that to be farther in the future than closer. We move forward to December with the 6th of that month. We got a doubleheader. UVM, University of Vermont women at Merrimack. UVM ended up winning that game 2-1. Missed the opening UVM goal, but at least I got to witness a goal on open play, which is the first goal on open play I've actually witnessed at Merrimack this season. So it took me to December to be able to watch that. Then the men's game later that night was Alaska Anchorage at Merrimack, and it was a 4-2 win. They played well, seemed well, which is weird. But Alaska Anchorage is bottom 3 in Division 1, so I don't want to take too much from a good game there. Move forward another month again to January 3rd at Army, which was a really cool experience. 5-2 win for Merrimack, 50 shots on goal as well. Great place to visit, terrifying place to watch a game. I was sat just above the glass line, in only like the 3rd or 4th row, so it was just so it did not take a lot for a puck to go out of play. No student section and no band, which I was kind of disappointed about the no band part. I didn't know how rowdy a student section would be at West Point, but I was looking forward to seeing the military band that I assume West Point must have. But West Point was a great place to go visit in general. Not even for a hockey game. They have a cool museum, which just shows you the whole history of that school and its founding up to current day. Moving forward to January 10th, Merrimack at number 2. Number 1 in the pairwise, Boston College, is a 5-2 win, and I am stunned by this one. Moves us up 10 spots on the pairwise all the way up to 27. There was no student section and oddly no band. Very disappointing on both factors. I did realize later into the game that there was a small section of students there, but they didn't really make much noise at all, other than the goal. and we're just quiet throughout. The band was definitely not there because apparently it was still winter break for them, which felt like a long winter break, but whatever. There was a group of at least 35 Powell family members just cheering for anything that happened. There was a Powell on both Boston College and Merrimack. Both defenders, both had started at Boston College, but Seamus Powell, the one for Merrimack, has since made his way over to Merrimack College. Fun group of fans. Brought most of the atmosphere to at least the area around me for the game. Move forward to January 16th to our first non-hockey game, Merrimack basketball at Quinnipiac. For the whole regular season, Merrimack, Quinnipiac, and Marist were battling for the top 3 spots in the conference, and Quinnipiac ended up winning this one 81-76. Played sloppy for most of the game, had a quality last quarter that made it closer than most of the game was. Got heavily out-rebounded, and it will be interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out. That was likely a battle between 2 of the 2 through 4 seeds in the conference. No band, no students, not a lot of crowd in general. A great spot on the top of the hill, though. It's a cool spot for games, and the actual setup that they have for sports there for basketball and hockey is amazing, and I wish Merrimack would copy that. Just bummed out by the no real fan base at the games, which is weird because they've been a good team in the conference for a couple years, so that one's weird to me. Being directly behind the bench was chaos. It felt like I was getting yelled at during timeouts. Moving forward to January 17th, number 17, UMass Amherst at number 25, Merrimack. Now, we are both unranked, so these are our pairwise rankings. 3-2 quality win. Dropped UMass 3 spots, moved up 1 ourselves. UMass and Merrimack are close enough to each other this year that I would consider us having to at least get a game out of the series. The next game is again against UMass on January 31st. Pairwise numbers, Merrimack at 23 and UMass is at 18, but they are nationally ranked at 20, and UMass gets a 4-2 win. Really good student section, disappointing loss, but a competitive game. It was close throughout. Moving forward to February 7th, we have 8th in the country in the pairwise and the pole, Boston University at 26 in pairwise, Merrimack College. 2-1. Merrimack win in overtime. Tense and close game throughout. Sold out crowd at Lawler. Perfect execution of 3v3 hockey and a great win. Again, only the band making noise, even though a good amount of students came out. They just weren't making any noise. Move forward. Only a couple days to February 10th. We have the Bean Pot. Game 1. 45 Harvard versus 25 Northeastern, both pairwise numbers. 4-3 Harvard win. Neither team played well at all. 4 power play goals on 6 chances for Harvard, and Harvard had no fans. Northeastern band was decent, and their small student section were depressed Premier League fans, essentially. Game 2, number 1 in the country in any aspect, Boston College versus 8 in the pairwise, I believe, and then 9 in the poll, Boston University. 4-1 BU. BC dominated the first 10 minutes, and it looked like they were really going to run away with it, but BU turned it around and ran with the rest of the game. BU fans were consistent and persistent. BC fans were louder, but only while winning. Full house. Moving forward back to games at Merrimack, February 14th. Valentine's Day. Where else would a single guy show up on Valentine's Day by himself? We have a women's game, University of Maine at Merrimack. 1-1 final score with a Merrimack shootout win, 2-0. Later that night, number 26, UVM, visits Merrimack. 4-2 win for UVM, and just a disappointing and sloppy game for Merrimack. That's a game that you really want to continue the momentum of beating BU and be able to pick a game up against UVM. Another week later, we have number 23 Merrimack College at number 8 and 7 in the coaches poll, Providence College. 3-2 Providence win. It was a tough fought game. We went up 3-1 at one point, but a goal got overturned after a very long review. Momentum flipped hard. Providence scored immediately after, and Merrimack didn't do much of anything productive for the rest of the game. Student section had decent presence to start, good amount left when Merrimack went up 2-0, which is kind of ironic. And a large contingent of Merrimack fans. A weirdly loud rink to be at, just like sound-wise. Band was the best I've heard so far this season, I believe. Into March, we have Northeastern at Merrimack College. 2-1, Northeastern wins such a sloppy and pointless game. Bad refereeing from both sides, but the 2 Northeastern goals came from phantom power plays. We move forward 6 days to the wild card on March 12th. A repeat of last week's game. Number 9 seed Northeastern at 8 seed Merrimack College. 3-2 double overtime loss. Fun, stress, excitement. Such a better game than the one 6 days ago. It's weird to say that this was between the same 2 teams. I don't know what it is about Merrimack hosting a playoff game, but apparently it's going to double overtime. That's just a thing that's happened in the last 5 years, and I don't get it. But it was fun. Season over. Just a rock band, more Northeastern students than Merrimack students, which is just disappointing. Luckily, basketball won on the TVs behind everybody in overtime to satisfy everyone a bit. I went exactly 500 at Merrimack's men's hockey games this year, and even 6-6. Now, we move forward to the Hockey East semifinals at the TD Garden. Our rankings for each team go Hockey East seed, then pairwise, then the coaches poll. In game 1, we have 4-7-7 UConn versus 3-6-8 Boston University. 5-2 UConn win. BU is very lazy during 5-on-5 throughout this game. UConn's forecheck was elite for most of the game. There were more BU fans. Their band sounds better, but the UConn band is bringing all the fan energy. BU has the worst chant of the weekend, most likely. Where's your bean pot? UConn isn't invited to that, so that's where the bean pot is. And they did win the CT version of the bean pot, which is the best they can do. So they're the Connecticut winner. That one was kind of lame to me. Game 2, 9-22, and an unofficial 27 for Northeastern versus 2-3-4 Maine. 4-3 Maine win in double overtime. So Northeastern really picked up our slack of not being in the tournament anymore and carried on our double overtime fame. Heavy Maine presence. Northeastern students are the best. They're so funny. Best chant of the weekend, but fuck nowhere. That was great. Maine has the best sign of the night. We are more north and more east. Great sign. The reason why we all love college hockey is the chanting. This had to be game of the year on the ice and off the ice with a Maine's a shithole chant replied by Daddy's Money. That's what it's all about, really. An instant classic game. UConn gets a massive advantage, in my opinion, in the final, with Maine being up so much later, playing an extra period and a half. We move on to the next day. March 21st, Hockey East final, 4-6-7 UConn versus 2-3-4 Maine. A 5-2 Maine win. They were just the better team. They brought the fan energy and looked great, even with double overtime the night before. A great championship performance, and it did feel like the game was in Orono, which is crazy, but it was a lot of fun. I do believe UConn's goaltender got injured against BU. It looked like he hurt his groin in the game, and he did not play against Maine, so unfortunate if true, but that's how it goes sometimes, I guess. Now we will move forward out into the national tournament. March 28th, which is there's a regional in Manchester. The rankings will go tournament pairwise coaches. Game 1, 16-22-20 Bentley versus 1-1-2 Boston College. And game 2 will be 9-9-6 Denver versus 8-8-10 Providence College. I am going to these games very shortly, but I will update you when I've gotten back. All right, in game 1, 3-1 Boston College win. They absolutely escaped the first round. Bentley matched them pretty well. Frankly, BC just didn't play that great. The arena does not know how to keep the net in the ice. It came off 6 times in the first 2 periods combined, 3 in each period, and it really ruined the flow of the game, which I think heavily benefited Bentley. Keeping BC out of their flow and rhythm was huge to keep the game just low scoring, which was Bentley's best chance at doing anything. And it stayed close until the game winner with about 70 seconds left. So well done to Bentley. I was shocked. I hope too many of your players don't leave you next year, because you might be able to make another run if you get to keep a similar roster. Game 2, Denver and Providence. Denver winning 5-1. Denver is the only team here to not bring a band, but they are by a significant margin the farthest team away. I still kind of expected it considering how big of a hockey school Denver is, so that was disappointing. A Denver fan did tell me that they burned 8 couches on the championship winning run last year and that they just want something close again. I don't know. There's so many things about that terrify me, and for the sake of couches in Denver, I hope that they lose soon. Providence goalie assisted Denver's first goal, and the only goal in the first period, which is just a great way to start the game, really. Giving a goal up to the other team. It's always fun. Denver did just dominate this game pretty significantly. I did have to leave at 4-1 with under 5 minutes remaining, because my parking was going to expire, because there's no real good way to park around SNHU Arena unless I'm an idiot. But their parking lot was VIP parking only, and there was only about 6 cars in it, so that was awesome to see. Glad I couldn't use that parking lot, because it was pretty big and could have fit, at least 100 cars. Well over that, actually. And there was maybe 6 in there, and one of those was probably the attendant. So that's great. That is my time in college hockey stands this year. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you want to see a similar video to this in the future, let me know. I'll be going to more college hockey once it's back. But if you do want to see me log just games that I go to, I can do that for games in between hockey seasons. And because I'll probably hit up some Red Sox games at some point, or Woo Sox, or anywhere in between, I guess, which isn't a whole lot between Worcester and Boston, but that's fine. We can ignore that fact. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.